Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Olajide Bello. Remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Now let's start from the State House, where President Bola Tinubu has commended members of the armed forces for the progressive success being recorded in the fight against insecurity in parts of the country. It was at the launch of the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration emblem appeal at the State House.
No matter what economic theory we propagate or postulate, if we have no security, you cannot promote peace and development. I'm grateful to all of you on behalf of the country. To you all, we have to continue to strive to eliminate conflict in our country, to eliminate terrorism, banditry, and make priority the stability of this country.
The emblem we will unveil today symbolizes our commitment to honor the fallen heroes and support those who continue to serve. I want to therefore highlight that their sacrifice and untiring efforts at keeping Nigeria safe are perfectly aligned with President's promise to conquer all forms of insecurity in Nigeria. We therefore come together annually to reflect on the sacrifices of our armed forces to our nation and express our unwavering gratitude.
Climate change continues to put pressure on food production, economy and livelihoods, but there is an aspect of this impact that is worrying advocates in Nigeria. It is climate security, financing and its operationalization. President Bola Tinubu, in an address to the 2024 Made in Climate Security Summit in Abuja, says Nigeria's ambitious action plan and the expanded presidential CNG initiative are all efforts geared towards providing pathways to mobilizing green financing for adaptation and resilience. Charles Alpha reports.
So many financial commitments have been made at global level, yet there are those who think it is not enough, given the extent to which climate change is rapidly impacting every aspect of human existence, and why Nigeria must have climate change fund that warehouses investment to deal with insecurity, poverty, displacement, and food shortages.
The law provides for the establishment of the Climate Change Fund, but we are yet to operationalize this fund. And this fund is critical for us as a country.
President Bola Tinubu, in an address to the summit delivered by the Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, said commitments are not enough to drive carbon investment.
We must also streamline regulatory processes, promote innovative green financing mechanisms to develop and implement climate solutions.
Our collaborative efforts through the mentioned initiatives demonstrate that together we can build resilience.
The NCCC, if there is need to fine-tune the governance mechanism through an appropriate legislation, the National Assembly is there.
And they say that there is the likelihood of Nigeria being able to mobilize up to $300 million USD once we operationalize the climate change fund.
The summit will deep dive into other areas like energy, food security, as well as examine impacts of climate change on health. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
To the National Assembly, senators approved the reimbursement of 15.1 billion naira through promissory notes to Kano State government. Also approved as requested by President Tinubu is the reimbursement of 9.5 billion naira to Nasarawa State government. The reimbursements are for projects constructed by the two states. The projects, after are the Sir Amadou Bello International Airport in Birnin Kebbi and the Cargo Airport in Lafia. Meanwhile, the special advisor to the President on National Assembly Matters Senate, Bashir Lado, has in a statement said the screening of ministerial nominees earlier scheduled for today has been postponed to Wednesday this week. The House of Representatives has asked its Committee on Ethics and Privileges to investigate within 2 weeks the incident of alleged assault on a cab operator by a member of the House, Alex Ikweche, raising a point of order on the need to address the issue. Leader of the House, Julius Iwanvere, describes the incident as a dent on the collective image of the House of Representatives. Despite an apology from Representatives Ikweche, lawmakers voted to apply the rules of the House as it concerns misconduct by a member. A one-day orientation for stakeholders on validation and approval of reviewed school improvement plans for junior and senior secondary schools under the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Leadership, Agile, has commenced in Sako State. The program, a collaboration between the federal and Sako State government with the support of the World Bank. Dalhatu Abdullahi reports.
More than 200 schools are to be renovated and over 50 new ones to be constructed under the Agile project across the 23 local government areas of Sako State. This exercise is to validate and approve work plans by experts and ensure provision of all WASH facilities for conducive teaching and learning environment in the selected schools.
So for this year, we are going to have small and medium grant interventions, and this will be in about 240-something schools in Sako State.
Then the engineer will assess again and see how the work will be in each school.
Sako State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Muhammad Tukur Al-Kali, represented by Executive Secretary, Female Education Board, Professor Mustafa Namaka, describes the project as timely.
Having these facilities readily available in our schools, I believe those who have withdrawn from schools due to lack of these facilities will certainly get back to schools and they will be returned.
Participants expressed confidence that the program will improve enrollment and educational development in the state. In Sako, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
We are being joined live by Lawali Salihu Sabumbarini, who is currently at Yaya Abdul Karim Model Primary School in Sokoto Metropolis, one of the benefiting schools. Lawali, can you update us on the performance of this initiative expected to promote the well-being and leadership among adolescent girls in Sako State?
Olajide, good afternoon and welcome to Sokoto, the seat of the Caliphate. Agile projects, Sokoto State is one of the 17 benefiting states in the north, out of 18 states across the country. And the project is aimed at improving girls' education across the state, in which Sokoto is inclusive. And with me here, a state project coordinator, Dr. Mansour Isa Buhari, who will shed more lights on the projects here in Sako State. Now, Doctor, so far, what are the success stories for this project Agile here in Sako State?
Well, Agile is has just started implementing in Sako State. We started implementing in August, end of July, August 2024. And within this period of time, we have been able to identify communities that need urgent intervention in terms of infrastructure. So far, we have identified 58 new communities that need junior and senior secondary schools, and they are going to be built as soon as possible. In fact, we have reached advanced stage of preparation for the start of the work. Also, we have been able to identify schools that need renovation. Now, Agile's intervention is in the area of girl education. So all the schools in Sako State, secondary schools that are attended by girls will be renovated by Agile. and we are going to start with immediately looking at wash facilities, and then we move on to classes, and then we move on to other parts of the school, so that by the end of the project, all schools that are attended by young girls in Sako State will have been renovated. So far, we are targeting 448 schools, depending on the category of their needs. That is why they are in grants. Also, we have so far started capturing data for conditional cash transfer, and we expect we are targeting 56,000 girls to benefit from the financial incentive of the project, so that poorest of the poorest households will be given assistance to allow their girl child to continue to go to school and to encourage enrollment. And so far, we are overwhelmed by the kind of enrollment we are seeing so far from parents. We were in a school where there were just about 15 girls before Agile came. So with the current CCT enrollment, people are coming in hundreds and enrolling their girl children, which is a clear indication that the project is going to definitely encourage more enrollment of young girls in our schools before the end of the project.
Now, Doctor, how do you see the project in Sako State, in the rural areas now? Maybe in your early explanation, you said you have gone around the state now. Now, what is the reaction of the people at the grassroots as regards to this project to their girls?
Well, it is overwhelming because we never thought the project would have this kind of acceptability. We went around in fact, even tomorrow we are going to some other local governments to engage the community. And people are happy because this is the first project that is going to intervene in infrastructural development of our schools in the 23 local governments of Sako State. And people are anxious for us to even start work. We are welcome to wherever we go. People are happy that we are going to intervene in fact, as you are, we are now in a school that we are studying to see what also their needs are, so that they can benefit from this intervention. So the acceptance from people is marvelous, because people have begun to understand that, of course, this project is going to assist in improving the standard and quality of education, not only in Sako State, but in Nigeria particularly.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much. Now, that is so much you can take from us here in Sokoto. Back to your studio.
Many thanks, Lawali Saliu, our correspondent there from Sokoto, keeping us up to speed with the Agile initiative. And from Sokoto, let's head straight to the Center of Excellence, where Adiola is standing by for more reports on Nationwide. Adiola.
Thank you, Olajide. As a way of promoting cleaner, greener and healthier environment, secondary school students in Lagos are beginning to take action to protect the earth for human survival. They are passionate about preserving the environment through everyday simple behavior. Diana Ajale reports.
It is true that people are displaced across the world. In Africa alone, it is projected by about 50 million or so will be displaced by 2050. But that does not mean we cannot do what's necessary now.
Adaptation and adoption of strategies towards climate change mitigation, environmentalists insist, are key to reducing climate crisis.
In recent times, we've been experiencing floods. Kano State had an incident, and little actions like this, speaking to the children and changing their mindset to let them know that they can do something about climate issues and the crisis that is going on, I think is a right step in the right direction.
Aspiring climate change advocate Etimbok Friday, an SS3 student, has been adding his voice towards combating the effects of climate change for some time now. Like a drop of water, his little contributions are beginning to impact his immediate environment, including his schoolmates.
Stand up for a change. Stand up for a change. And be the champion that you are. And be the champion that you are.
We should put our actions at the forefront of saving the earth, because the earth is ours.
When you see young children around, you see they are very, very enthusiastic. They want to engage more in activities if you bring it in a fun way. And when we encourage young children or young individuals, yes, we are investing more in our future.
This tree planting exercise within the school premises is to encourage and promote eco-friendly environment.
We have so many cancer issues coming up, and this as a result of chemicals that we use in planting trees. Food waste generated from our vegetables, from all those items, all those fruits that are spoiled that we usually throw away. So we advise them now to turn it into compost.
Continuous public education, concerned persons say, are key to curbing the devastating effects of climate change. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Just a way to get the young ones involved. Now, promoting advanced recycling that can drive demand for plastic waste as a value feedstock is imperative, particularly as plastic waste offers incentives for circular economy. Again, Diana Ajale, who interacted with some environmentalists and concerned stakeholders in Lagos, completes the report.
Waste is never a waste until we waste it. This quote is the best way to capture the case of plastic pollution. There are many ways, for example, to reuse discarded plastic bottles, apart from mechanical recycling. It's not just plastics that can be recycled. Aluminum cans can be recycled. Glass bottles can also be recycled. And that would also, reduce the amount of resources being taken up from the environment. Reports by the United Nations Environment Programme shows that Nigeria, with an estimated 32 million tons of solid waste generated annually, is among the top 20 nations that contribute 83% of the total volume of land-based plastic waste globally. How can the nation's circular economy benefit from the conversion of this huge solid waste?
Nigeria has developed a roadmap for circular economy movement, changing from linear economy to circular economy by 2050. The roadmap was launched earlier this year, and one of the key areas that was mentioned in that circular economy roadmap is waste management.
Nigeria is on course if we decide to join the rest of the world in doing this transition. But this transition, it has to be just for it to be impactful. So we need a lot of education of Nigerians on what the initiative is all about.
Key players believe adoption of methodology for total recycling of plastic will not only add to the nation's economic growth, but also reduce plastic pollution while encouraging environmental protection. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
And those are stories from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in our Kaduna Network Center after this break.
In Kaduna, 10,000 hearing aids have been earmarked for free distribution to people with hearing disability in Kaduna State by the Olusegun Obasanjo Foundation. Hafsat Abubakar reported that the gesture is in collaboration with State Hearing Foundation.
According to statistics, 7% of males and 5% of females are experiencing hearing loss, with children having their share of 1.9% in Kaduna State. Ahmed Balarabe, a civil servant in Kaduna, is among the lucky beneficiaries of the hearing interventions. After 10 years of suffering from hearing loss in one of his ears, succor finally comes his way.
Actually, I'm happy with the foundation because without wasting much time, they attended to me, and when I complained to them, then they gave me this aid. And then with the help of this hearing aid, I can now hear fully.
Same with Husseini Abba, who cannot speak due to his hearing disability. His mother came with him all the way from Katsina State for the intervention.
We came and we were attended to, as his ears were clean, but we have not been lucky with hearing aid.
The Olusegun Obasanjo Foundation and Star K Hearing Intervention Program, slated for 23rd to 26th October 2024, has rounded off with more persons looking for more opportunities to save their ears. Hafsat Abubakar, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has reiterated its personnel readiness to bring to an end the insecurity affecting the entire country to safeguard the territorial integrity of Nigeria. Haruna Muhammad reported that this was during the mental and physical exercise at the fourth quarter joint route march of the Nigerian Air Force held here in Kano State. The report.
The exercise brought together personnel from various NAF units in Kaduna, showcasing their prowesses. The route march covered extensive grounds with personnel moving in coordinated formation through designated areas within the NAF base. The aim is to enhance physical fitness, discipline, and morale among troops, reinforcing their readiness for national defense duties.
We are engaged far and wide in operations across the nation, and the readiness of a soldier is fitness and training.
Air Vice Marshal Sani Rabe, Commandant, Nigerian Air Force Institute of Technology, emphasized the importance of mental and physical fitness for mission readiness of all.
Like this, and to ensure that we remain fit for our constitutional responsibilities, so that whenever we are called on to participate in any operation, we should be combat ready.
The exercise underscores the Nigerian Air Force's commitment to high standards of operational readiness across all ranks, which is a critical aspect of its national defense capabilities. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
And that's our contributions from Kaduna. Olajide Bello, we take it off from here in our Abuja studio. Good evening, Olajide.
Good evening, and many thanks, Mohammed. Meanwhile, in a decisive operation, the Nigerian Air Force airstrikes eliminated scores of Boko Haram terrorists at 2 key locations in Bula Marwa, Kano State. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Olushola Akimboewa, notes that having identified Bula Marwa as a high-level meeting site for Boko Haram's notorious figures, intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions further confirmed heightened terrorist activity, revealing an influx of motorcycles and gatherings of combatants across the site. Consequently, NAF fighter jets were dispatched to the location for an air interdiction mission. The first airstrike was executed effectively, engaging the target area, while moments later ISR aircraft located in the vicinity observed several terrorists returning to assess the damage and evacuate their wounded combatants. In response, NAF air assets conducted follow-up strikes, neutralizing additional terrorists. Building on the successes of the initial mission, additional ISR was conducted in the area the same day, identifying another group of terrorists gathering under a large tree at the second meeting site. And upon verification, NAF air assets launched a precision airstrike on this location, achieving a direct hit and neutralizing numerous terrorists. These air operations struck a significant blow to planned terrorist activities, taking out multiple fighters and demolishing their motorcycles, thereby crippling their ability to launch ambushes or other hostile actions. The NAF remains committed to executing its mission with relentless precision, whether in joint or independent operations, to bring to an end terrorism as well as other threats to the sovereignty and security of the nation. The federal government, through the Nigeria Police Trust Fund, is enhancing the capacity of officers and men of the force in peace, conflict resolution and psychological development for improved service delivery. Francis Fom reports.
The challenges law enforcement agencies face in the course of their duty currently are evolving, from tackling organized crime to navigating the complexities of community policing. This, the Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Police Trust Fund believes personnel must constantly be equipped with the knowledge, tools and skills needed to stay ahead. This training is therefore imperative.
This program has been designed with your growth in mind. We are not just equipping you with technical skills, but also nurturing leadership, critical thinking, and resilience. These are qualities that will help each and every one of you to rise to the demands of the modern day policing and public safety.
The Executive Secretary says the Police Trust Fund is committed to ensuring that the force has the support and resources needed to succeed in the discharge of their responsibilities. Francis from NTA News.
The time now to join Anwili in Benin for more reports on Nationwide. Anwili, take it up from here.
Today is Udwagabon from Benin. Now, due to the increasing cases of human trafficking using the social media to traffic youth and children, as well as the trend of organ harvest, there is need to constantly draw the attention of parents and guardians to the dangers of irregular migration and human trafficking, so as to check activities of their using smartphones. This is why the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, in collaboration with African Youth Growth Foundation, is in Oba Market, Benin, to sensitize the public to the dangers of embarking on illegal migration. Julian Dubisi reports.
Over the years, the issue of illegal migration and trafficking in persons have contributed to loss of lives and other inhuman treatment meted to many Nigerian youth by their exploiters while trying to travel in search of greener pastures. To encourage the youth to always make the right choice while planning to migrate, they need to be more informed, especially with the new trend of trafficking children using social media.
The one we're doing now is the one where they call organ harvest. That organ harvest, they will carry our children. They will go commode their liver, their kidney, sell them. When they sell them, they take and make money.
We are talking about the dangers of irregular migration and trafficking in persons, how it has destroyed the society. And we are saying no to trafficking and no to irregular migration.
Some residents also speak on the importance of youth to be meaningfully engaged to avoid falling into the hands of human traffickers.
So I believe they should work hard, learn a trade, or go to school, or find something to do so you will be empowered yourself.
We also emphasize stigmatizing people when they traffic come, not bad pass. Discriminating them, not bad pass.
Flyers were distributed to the traders and others. It is their expectation that members of the public will be better informed and educated. In Benin, Eugenian DBC, NTA News.
300 widows and 100 orphans have been empowered by the wife of Ekiti State Governor, Dr. Olayemi Oyebanji. The event is aimed at putting a smile on the faces of the vulnerable in the state as her husband celebrates second year in office. Olukemi Sani has that story.
The wife of the governor, Dr. Olayemi Oyebanji, through the PET project, awarded scholarship to 50 pupils from primary schools to university level. Checks of 100,000 naira each were presented to 50 undergraduates selected from both the state and federal institutions in the state, while over 300 widows and orphans were given working tools they would need to fend for themselves. She explained that the initiative is to complement the effort and vision of her husband to reduce poverty among women and children and empower them to live more independent and fulfilling lives.
We trained 200 people, including 50 widows, active ones, from South and from Central, in the heart of Abuja. To them, we have trained 400.
Governor Oyebanji commended his wife for her generosity and commitment to uplifting the less privileged.
And often the less privileged, people with disability, we can adopt one or two and assist them. That is when we can make impact.
The beneficiaries thanked the wife of the governor for giving them a sense of belonging. To assist movement while monitoring the beneficiaries, a Hilux van was presented to WOW Foundation. In Ado-Ekiti, Olukemi Sani, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues from Just Studio. Well, that will be after the break. Please stay tuned.
Jos.
The National Space Research and Development Agency is keying into space technology through the Very Long Baseline Interferometry project under the Center for Geodesy and Geodynamics in Toro Bauchi State. The Director of Media and Corporate Communication, NASDRA, Dr. Felix Ale, stated this in Toro while assessing facilities for the takeoff of the project. Ijoma Ozomina reports.
National Space Research and Development Agency is mapping out strategy to ensure successful implementation of Nigerian space program for socio-economic development. The Center for Geodesy and Geodynamics is one of the activity centers of the National Space Research and Development Agency, saddled with the responsibility of monitoring seismic activities such as earth tremor. This is what informed the engagement at the Center for Geodesy and Geodynamics, which is a step towards actualizing this dream through the Very Long Baseline Interferometry, a multi-million-dollar project in collaboration with Chinese counterparts.
With this project that is coming up, the Center for Geodesy and Geodynamics, and by extension, the National Space Agency, will have the capability to track satellites, even from Toro Station here.
The aim and objective of this center is actually to carry out Earth observation using space geodetic and geophysical equipment for sustainable national development.
For the people of Toro community, it is a landmark achievement as the CGG has placed the community on global map.
Secondly, our children, at least, they will employ them.
Having toured the facilities for assessment, the Director of Media and Corporate Communication, Nasrida, commended the feat achieved so far by the center, highlighting the benefits the country stands to gain.
What earthquake has done in so many advanced countries. And if we now have a center that could monitor and also come up at the appropriate time to tell us what to do in order to mitigate effects, you will now know that, look, Nigeria is now in a vantage position to curb whatever effect such a disaster will have for us.
In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
A non-governmental organization, First Samaritan Love Foundation, says peace is a major tool in addressing food insecurity in Nigeria. The executive director of the foundation, Takalis Daspan, stated this while distributing food to residents of Jos. Indiang and Abuja reports.
The exercise tagged Food Peace Drive is the second in the series. The essence is to put smiles on the faces of those who can hardly afford a meal.
Today we are distributing food free to people, and during the process we are still telling them to live in peace and harmony with one another, regardless of the fact the situation we find ourselves. Nigeria is one of the best countries in the whole wide world, and that is why we are contributing our quota towards the profound solution of what we call zero hunger.
The foundation is appealing to good-spirited individuals and groups to emulate the foundation, as government alone cannot shoulder such responsibility.
Today we are exhibiting love. Love is not just a word, but it's a doing word. And that is why today, as First Samaritan Love Foundation, we have come in mass to distribute at least 1,500 meals for people around to be able to benefit. And with this, I will tell you out there that we should show love to one another, and that is our motto.
The exercise was carried out in different parts of the state capital, as beneficiaries commend the foundation for the gesture. First Samaritan Love Foundation has peace advocacy and empowerment as its major objective. In Jos, Indenyan and Abuja, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos. Nationwide continues with Olajide in Abuja.
Many thanks, Bilkisu. And moving on. Beyond being a reading room or social center where intellectual heritage is preserved, the National Library is set to roll out the drums as it turns 60, preserving cultures and promoting literacy. Elizabeth Amoy reports that the management of the Learning Institute visited the management of the NTA to solicit support for the celebration.
The National Library, established by government as the nation's preeminent repository of information for 60 years, has been collecting published and unpublished materials by Nigerians, making it available for readers in both physical and digital platforms through the National Virtual Library. Having promoted education, disseminated information, provided means of individual self-development, and met other bibliographic needs for 60 years, it's time to celebrate commitment to posterity. In this visit is to thank the management of NTA for its unflinching support over the years and acquaint the management of its Diamond Jubilee celebration.
We have to preserve these resources that are prized, the heritage of the country. We are digitizing the weak ones and putting them in the National Repository of Nigeria, which could be accessed by anybody, anywhere.
The Director General, NTA, represented by the Executive Director News, Ayo Adewi, assured the CEO of the National Library of a firm partnership to promote literacy and success of the forthcoming events.
NTA on its own, it's a library on its own, a resource for broadcast content and history of Nigeria. We are going to work stronger in our partnership in promoting and projecting your values, just like we have been doing.
Activities lined up for the celebration is billed from the 14th to 20th of November 2024. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Inclusivity, opened-up policy and consolidation on the efforts of past leaders will be the priority of Iman Suleiman as she takes over the baton of leadership as the new Minister of Women Affairs. Gender correspondent Momso Damian Dati reports that the new sheriff has already hit the ground running.
Staffers of the ministry, leaders of various women groups and organizations expressed their expectations.
Nigerian women are saying that they have competencies for governance, they have competencies in professionals, they have competencies around. It should be 50-50 for all of us so that we can have an accelerated development where everyone matters.
We deal with the institution, not the individuals, but the individuals make the institution.
We believe Mr. President has done the right thing, bringing someone who understands gender issues
to hit the ground running. She's just a round peg in a round hole.
We're all expecting that the mistakes that have been made in the past will be corrected.
To contribute to women empowerment in Nigeria. No woman will be left behind, the new minister promises.
For Mr. President, it's very important that there's development for the women, there's prosperity for the women, there's peace. That working together will be able to achieve the renewed hope agenda for every woman and every child and man.
Momso Damian Ati, NTA News.
Chairman of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, is insisting that its refinery, currently with 420 barrels per day refining capacity, is ready to satisfy the local demand of petroleum products, particularly petrol. The Nigerian captain of industry was fielding questions from State House correspondent on the development in the oil and gas sector. After the commissioning of the largest refinery in Africa, there have been issues delaying disbursement of product from the refinery. However, Dangote appeals to local marketers to come forth and patronize his refinery as a way to solve scarcity of petrol in parts of the country.
We are producers. I have a refinery. I'm not in the business of retail. If I'm in the business of retail, then you hold me responsible. But what I'm saying is that the retailers should please come forward and pick. If they don't come forward and pick, what do you want me to do? There's nothing that I can do. So I am expecting either NNPC or the marketers to stop importing. They should come and collect. We have what they need. And, as they remove, I'll be pumping. I don't know whether you understand what it takes to keep 500 million liters inside our tank. It's costing me money. Every day, if I will be able to collect the naira, I can actually charge somebody 32% in interest. So right now, that's what I'm losing. And you are talking about 500 billion. We don't print money. But the issue is that if they come and collect, then you will not see any queues in the filling stations. We have what it takes for them to come and collect. We are not retailers. We also don't have trucks to send. We have a factory where we can load. If they come and pick, they will go and distribute. And they've been doing that with importation. So if they have been doing that with importation, if it's true they are doing 55 million, I see no reason why they won't come and collect our own and distribute.
On day one of a two-day performance contract retreat, the Minister of Interior challenges his team to aim high with the signing set for day two, a moment that will seal their promise to deliver. Victor Azu was there for NTA.
It's the beginning of a two-day retreat. More than a gathering, it's a moment to chart a new course. Heads of paramilitary agencies within the Ministry of Interior are tasked with preparing to sign a performance contract on day two. But today, the groundwork is laid.
Today's gathering is more than a contract signing ceremony. It is a covenant of accountability and a promise to deliver on Mr. President's renewed hope agenda.
With top management in attendance, the retreat aims to set a bold agenda, focusing on measurable targets and results. Day two will see the official signing, turning plans into promises and promises into actions.
You've done well, but you can do better. And I think this is what this retreat is all about. This is a time for us to be very bold, to be very audacious, but tenacious.
As these leaders prepare to put pen to paper on day two, the real challenge will be turning their vision into action, ensuring that promises made today are results delivered tomorrow. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
In a digital age where security meets innovation, a new chapter unfolds at the heart of Nigeria's borders. A select group of Nigeria Immigration Service officers stand ready to shape the future of border control. Victor Azu reports that the message of the Minister of Interior was on vigilance, duty and the promise of a safer tomorrow.
Selected from more than 200 candidates, these officers of the Nigeria Immigration Service have undergone rigorous training in API PNR technology, advanced passenger information and passenger name record, that is. It's a system that analyzes data from travelers before they even set foot in the country, helping to identify potential risks and improve border management.
The large responsibility is on you now. The confidence that's been given to you, you have to justify it.
From digital gates in Abuja to bustling ports of Lagos, the Command and Control Center monitors every move. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunjojo, is therefore calling on the personnel to be alert as each data point is a story, a potential threat, or a chance to make travel safer.
This is a scheme where there is no margin for error. This is a scheme where you cannot guesswork. This is a scheme where you have to be mentally alert and you have to be ready to sacrifice all for the sake of our fatherland.
As the nation's security landscape evolves, these officers of the Nigeria Immigration Service stand as the vanguard of a new era where data is the key and vigilance is the watchword. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
And the people of the Sene community in Yenagoa local government area of Kano State are soliciting for urgent intervention to assist them contend with the ravaging flood situation facing them as they are already counting their losses. Doris Akumoye reports.
Biseni community is one of the Kano State border community with River States. This community, among other communities in Kano State, is presently being challenged by the devastating effect of flood. A visit to the oil-rich community shows the impact of the flood to both human, farmland, access roads and houses. The flood investigation reveals it's largely as a result of the overflow of the River Niger from the Mbiama axis, forcing natives and non-natives to flee from the community, while others have taken refuge by the roadside. His Royal Highness King Agule Debekeme is also affected by the natural disasters displacements.
Over the years, we have suffered this natural flood disaster that has been salvaging this kingdom annually.
Since the farmlands were equally not spared, most of the farmers who smartly enough hurriedly harvested their crops, while a major chunk of the produce has been washed away.
Flood don't pursue me. Now I want to die. My leg themselves, they pain me.
It has affected us mentally and otherwise.
But I've not eaten since morning. I just want to make sure that I don't lost my crops.
Already, the community can only be assessed through Kano, and the cost of commodities have increased. In Yenegoa, Doris Akomoye, NTA News.
Now let's join our sport desk for sports update.
The second leg of the international friendly match between Super Falcons of Nigeria and the Green Ladies of Algeria has been played. The Falcons took the lead, but Algeria scored after losing a spot kick to their advantage in the first half. And from the Wafu B Under-20 tournament in Lomé, Togo, Nigeria's Flying Eagles will attempt to retain the trophy the team won 2 years ago, when the team takes on arch rivals Ghana's Black Satellites in the final match. Still on football, following the emergence of Manchester City's Rodri as winner of the Ballon d'Or, Nigerian international and Atlanta striker Ademola Lookman looks set for the CAF African Footballer of the Year 2024 after he emerged as the 14th overall best player of the 2024 Ballon d'Or rankings at a ceremony organized by the French magazine France Football in collaboration with UEFA. Luxman's position makes him the highest ranked African player on this year's prestigious list.
That as further increases the chances of Ademola Lookman winning the next African Player of the Year. He has done very well for his club Atalanta, helping them to Europa Cup or triumph, and also helping Nigeria to second place in Africa.
Because with all the goals, with all the individual performances of Vinicius Junior, I was actually expecting nothing less than him getting the Ballon d'Or trophy yesterday, but I was surprised that the trophy had to go to Rodri.
I can say confidently that Rodri is actually the best, because Rodri won the best player in Europe as ahead of this Vinicius Bellingham.
And in tennis, Yannick Sinner has withdrawn from the Paris Masters a week after banking a 4.6 million euros prize in Saudi Arabia. The Italian cited a virus for his exit from the tournament, where he was due to begin Wednesday. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
And that's it nationwide. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bello.